audience know what's happening. And it's going, it's streaming. Okay, hi audience. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Doctors, Teachers, and Rock and Roll Comedy Show. I'm Danny, that's your host, and I'm going to be, let me do some of the technical stuff here for a moment, so please bear with me. Please bear with me. I don't mean to bear with me. I know it's on Zoom, you can bear yourself, but yeah, I'm saying the other kind of bear with me. So I hope you understand that. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to work out, and please excuse me. I'm kind of not familiar with all the Zoom controls here. So please forgive me if I accidentally turn off the power grid in your neighborhood. Again, I try not to do that. Seems to do that all the time. Also, my internet service is not that great. It's been okay at first, but it's been kind of slow ever since the hamster broke its hip. So, all right. So there we go. Okay, I got the YouTube link on there. So welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first episode. It's going to be a monthly thing of doctors, teachers, and rock and roll. We have doctors, teachers, and people in rock and roll, but not everybody's, at least not everybody's a doctor, or teacher, or rock and roller. But at least we'll tell some jokes about that. And alrighty, cool. So let me start. Let's see. So let me get some of the technical stuff here. Okay, great. So anyway, yeah, we've got a great lineup of people from all over the country, East Coast, Bay Area, and in between, I believe. So, all right, well, we'll start. Yeah, I'm not a doctor or teacher, or I do like rock and roll, though. Yeah, I do like rock and roll. And, I'm probably one of those old, I'm going to do these old man rants, although I'm not that really that old, I think. But anyway, yeah, I'm not crazy about the music today. Yeah, it's just sounds like a bunch of the musicians grew up on Barney the Dinosaur music. It's so lame. Yeah, I like rock and roll. Music with passion and screaming. And I mean, how can you call it music if there's no screaming, right?
Into OnStar emergency.
And I think we're on there. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. And anyway, yeah, so yeah, like there's so much passion in rock and roll. Like at the end of a concert, they just break a guitar, on stage. They just slam the guitar and break it. That's cool. That's cool. But if what do they do nowadays? They don't have instruments. They
okay, I'll disconnect then. Just please don't.
Hello, who's there? Who's there? Somebody on mute? Okay, alrighty. So anyway, yeah, like nowadays they don't have instruments. So what do? They just slam their headphones down and step on it. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Right? Yeah, so that's my my thing about music. I mean, if you want to listen to music nowadays, good music and rock and roll and all that, you have to watch a commercial. This is. Yeah, you can't really listen. So that's my rant on that. Okay, so also the thing about doctors, another medical thing is, okay, the Republicans, the Republicans are trying to get rid of Obamacare. They've been trying to get rid of Obamacare for a while, and because they say it's socialist, they tell you what to do, which is true. Because I actually hurt my ankle playing basketball last weekend. They took me to the hospital. And then they forced me to get an abortion. Yeah, they tell you. So yeah, that's why that's the thing about that. Okay, so other regular stuff, also medical stuff. Make sure you say you should wash your hands for as long as it takes you to sing "Happy Birthday." But I like to be more careful, so I sing "Stairway to Heaven," which is awful. Yeah, and I think they're still saying, still social distancing, 6 feet apart. Someone asked, well, what if I want to have sex with my lover? And it says, well, then use a vacuum cleaner. Also works. It's kind of fun too. Right. So, yeah, so yeah, like everybody else, I've been staying home watching more TV. Yeah, I saw this movie. It was actress, her strange name, Busy Phillips. Anybody here, Busy Phillips? I think it's a strange name, Busy. Probably her father named her that, because if someone like me would go up to her and say, hey, hi, I'm Danny, and she would say, I'm busy. Oh. Yeah, well, I forgot to spotlight myself here. There. Okay, there I am. Okay. Oh yeah, get SCD from a Hoover. It's good. Thanks. For a funny one. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, and also, they say that they had a survey that said that 62% of America's workers are having sexual relationships with someone else in the same workplace. So that got me thinking, man, I need to get a job. And also, it's also part of the being careful because of the coronavirus, the pandemic. People do this now, and so the handshake is becoming extinct. So I learned recently that this is called a fist bump, not fisting, fist bump. There's all yeah. So also, because of all this stuff going on, war, pandemic, everything, gas prices are really high. Some people are actually trying to save money on the high gas prices by using a catapult instead of for transportation, using a catapult. Cool. And, see, in the celebrity news, I heard that Britney Spears, she announced she's pregnant. Britney Spears, she's pregnant. Well, that was bound to happen after so many times going, oops, I did it again. Yeah, that was bound to happen. So let's see. Well, I think that's. I recently adopted a rescue dog. Yeah, but I had to return it. Because whenever I went to sleep, it would give me mouth to mouth, and not crazy about that. Also, latest thing, taxes. Did my taxes, and went to the H&R Block, and they told me I owe $200, $200 some dollars. And they said, So I thought something. So I gave the accountant an extra $5. And now I'm getting $57 million refund from it worked that good. Okay, well, let me end it off with a little bit rock and roll. Okay, I like Green Day. This is a latest a song from Green Day. Here we go. Number 2 pencil. Okay. Okay, I don't know the whole song. But anyway, there you go. And by the way, I'm also available for birthdays. Bar mitzvahs. And also available for weddings. Okay, thank you very much. I'm really busy. Woo. So so our next Simi from the East Coast, she was on our original doctors or teachers show. Is there so many of them? So very funny woman. Let's give it for Claudia Bonavita. Give it for Claudia, everybody.
So my name is Claudia Bonavita, and Bonavita means good life in Italian. And I'm married over 30 years. I keep asking my husband when the good life's gonna start. And today I'm celebrating because I recently retired from teaching.
Yay!
Thank you. Yeah, I used to teach some of the most challenging students. I once had a kindergartner curse me out. The kid was so tiny, he looked up at me and said, "You fat, ugly, old, smelly bitch." I am not old. Listen, we all think we look better than we do, right? I had a dose of reality last week. I went to the grocery store and this teenage cashier said to me, "Do you want the senior discount?" I said, "What? You think I look like a senior citizen? Screw you." Yes, I want the discount. So I'm not a senior citizen, but I'm not middle-aged either. I'm 57. Do the math. What am I going to live to 114? I'm caught somewhere between bed, bath, and the great beyond. Yeah, and I don't think of myself as old because, I could still do some stuff that a 20-year-old can do. I could ride my bike, I jog, I can accept and make phone calls on my cell phone. These young kids, they think they're so smart and so cool. Guess what? I can sign my name in script, and I can tell time on a clock with hands. A lost art. And getting old is awful because I can't sleep anymore, you know? I mean, I'm so desperate for sleep. Next week, I scheduled 4 colonoscopies. Yeah, I recently went for an MRI on my foot. And the technician, another young one, she says to me, "So what do you want to listen to while you're in the machine?" I said, "I don't care. Put anything on." She put on a Metamucil commercial. I don't think I want to be that relaxed. And I'll tell you, I'm addicted to coffee. Anybody like coffee? Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. But I hate how those baristas hand me my coffee with their grubby fingers on the lid, right when my mouth goes, right? I mean, how do I know they weren't just in the bathroom? I've been in those bathrooms. There's never any toilet paper. I once had a wipe with a receipt, and thank God it was from CVS. Yeah. All right. So my husband put this home gym in our house. He's trying to lose weight. So it's out in the garage. He says to me, "Honey, look, I put a mini fridge in here for, my Ben and Jerry's and my water bottles." And then he says to me, "Oh, no, wait till you hear this one. He's got a playlist to work out, right? He listens to Rat Pack Radio. So here he is in the garage. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, sausage, pepperoni, heavy sauce, extra cheese." So I yell in there and I said, "Hey, if you're calling Domino's, order me some breadsticks." And I hear, "Add breadsticks. That's my order. That's my order." Crazy. And he can't work half of the equipment that he has in the garage. So he started looking for things that were really simple online. And he shows me, "Honey, look, I bought this thing. It's called Chop Fit. It looks like an axe and it's really heavy." I said, "Like an axe?" He goes, yeah. "And you swing it over your head to build muscle and lose weight." I said, "Like an axe?" He goes, "No, really? Yeah. And there's a YouTube video, shows you exactly how to hold it." I said, "Like an axe?" $189.99 he paid for this thing. I said, "Honey, you could have gone to Home Depot for $20. You could have bought an axe. You'd have money left over for breadsticks." And then he thinks he's doing me a favor. He bought me Tonal. Anybody know what that is? It's a woman's worst nightmare. It's an exercise mirror. So I hang this mirror up, and who's in the mirror but this young body, beautiful woman doing Pilates with my image superimposed over her. All I keep thinking is, how many calories can I burn sobbing in front of this damn mirror? Oh my God. And they have apps for everything now. They have an app that you can record your own motivational message to like wake you up in the morning and have you go and work out. So here's my message. Get up, you fat, ugly, old, smelly bitch. Oh, I got that from the kindergartner. No. He's a jerk. Anyway, my son is so impatient with me, with my lack of technology. He'll say to me, "I showed you once already." This from the kid who took 7 years to learn how to tie his shoes. But he expects me to create an Instagram story after being shown once. Whenever I'm faced with a technology problem, I have to weigh out the feeling of total inadequacy and my technology need at the time. Feeling stupid because my son makes me feel stupid, or getting a cannoli from Uber Eats. Uber Eats usually works, I'll tell you. And he helps everyone but me. right? He'll stick on his shoes, get dressed, drive across town to go help his uncle with his Netflix password, but he won't turn left on the couch to show me how to shut off my phone. He says to me, "You don't know how to shut off your phone?" I said, "No, I have no idea how to turn the damn thing off. I bought it 3 years ago. It's never been turned off." Right? I lie. Occasionally, I put the wrong buttons in. You get that emergency message. They'll call 911. But listen, I'd rather accidentally call 911 than ask my son for help. 911 is more patient. That's my time. I'm Claudia Bonavita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claudia Bonavita.
Good
Thank you.
stuff.
Oh, let me get, I mixed up with his thing. Sorry. To do again the spotlight thing. I'll get it together after the, okay, here we go. All right. Yes, thank you, Claudia Bonavita, and good luck with that exercise and everything. So, yeah, so, whoop. All right, our next comedian, he's been on, he's one of the Good Timing comedians in the Good Timing show, which is on Peacock. We also have Elaine Witt, who's a producer. You'll see her also later on, who's also been on Good Timing. Very funny man. Seen him many times. Been performing with him on Zoom. One of these days we'll meet in person. I'll go to New York or something one of these days. But let's get for Ziggy, everybody.
Yay.
Thanks, Danny. Since it's a doctor show too, I just wanted to say this true story that happened a few days ago. I got an email, one of these chain emails, like to 33 people, and in big caps, in subject, it says heart attack. And I'm going, oh my God, this guy is telling, 33 people he just got a heart attack. And like a minute later, I got the next email saying, I'm sorry, I don't have a heart attack. It was like, he was sending an email how to avoid a heart attack. But, the thing didn't take. So all we could see was that it was a heart attack. Anyway, I guess there's some noise, but I don't know, are you able to find out where that's coming from, Danny? Okay, anyway, I'll continue. But what I want to talk about was 1969, and not 69, but 1969. And every year since 1969, so it's, sit back, it's going to take a while. 1969 was the year of Woodstock. And that summer, I was a camp counselor in upstate New York. And we had tickets, 3 of us had tickets to Woodstock, and we had the day off and we were going to go there. So I listened to the radio that morning and it said it had been raining and now it's muddy everywhere and the traffic's backed up on the highway. You can't get there. And I just got new white kid sneakers. I wasn't going to mess them up, and I didn't want to mess up my Jordache jeans. So, I figured I'm not going to go to Woodstock. It's a waste. So I took my day off and went all the way to New York to Rockaway Beach. I went by bus and train and got there. I looked it up on Google. Woodstock was 16 miles from my camp. Rockaway Beach was 122 miles from my camp. I wasn't exactly the smartest person in the block. Anyway, and it took me about 3 hours to get there. But I got there and I saw my friends, and they're sitting on a blanket on the beach, and there was a young girl who I had never met before, and I thought she was cute, and we hit it off, and I got her phone number, and I was happy with that. And took another 3 hours to get back to camp, and I met my friends who went to Woodstock, and I said, how was it? And they said, not so great. We were all the way in the back. We couldn't see anything. We could hardly hear. It was muddy. I figured I did much better than them. I got a girl's phone number. I'm the lucky one. Of course, a year later, the movie comes out, and I want to kill myself. I missed the biggest thing in rock and roll history, Woodstock. But that's the story of my life. But there are a lot of similarities. There were like 400,000 people at Woodstock, and I think there were about 400,000 people at the bus terminal when I went into the city. Woodstock, a lot of people got high, and she lived on the 19th floor. So, got high too and everything. Woodstock was on a dairy farm, but I never touched her teats. And I have another one. Woodstock was like the age of Aquarius. At one of our dates, I took her to an aquarium. And also in both cases, the throughway was closed. for Woodstock and for me. Anyway, I feel a little like the anti-Forrest Gump, like he would end up in all these great places, with Kennedy and Nixon in China and the moon landing and stuff. And me, I could have gone to Woodstock and didn't, I'm the anti-Forrest Gump. If I would have gone to Woodstock, it probably would have been just a regular concert. Nobody would even remember it or anything. For Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. For me, life is just a box. But anyway, the reason I brought you here is I want to tell you about what happened to me with my phone provider, like AT&T. They recently said that they're not going to service, my landline anymore because it wasn't worth it to them. I paid them $100 a month just to get a dial tone and telemarketers. Why couldn't they keep it? But they wouldn't do it. So they said I could migrate it over to my cable company and I'd be able to keep the number and everything. And I had a 212 number, which is an original number in New York. It's like to have one of those, it's like you came on the Mayflower. I didn't want to give it up or anything. So I said, okay. And, cable company said, sure, they could do it. I'd have to get a new router, a new modem, and a new cable box. So I did it and stuff, and it still didn't work. And, I asked them why. They said, it's not us. You got to get a new TV. And I had to call Samsung, and okay, I called Samsung, and they kept saying, your wife is corroded, your wife is corrupted, your wife is old, your wife is rusty and stuff. It was terrible. Then finally I figured out they were talking about Wi-Fi. So it wasn't my wife. My wife was okay. But the main reason I wanted to keep that number was that. That girl that I met on the blanket in Rockaway, that's the only number she has for me. So just in case she ever wants to get back in touch, I want to keep that landline just so, I love my wife, everything's okay, but just to catch up on old times and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm Ziggy Thresher. That's my time. Everybody stay well. Nice to meet you.
Yay! Give it for Ziggy, everybody. Woo! Yes. Thank you. Thanks. And all right, so our next comedian from San Diego, I believe. Let's get for Abby. You're on mute, but okay, here we go. Abby, and can you unmute? Okay.
I'm recording myself. Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, because my hearing aids are for blunged. Yes. You brought up Obamacare. I want to tell you, hopefully, God willing, I make it to 2024. Someone get the phone. I will be running for president in 2024. Dr. Bubby, you put a Bubby in the White House. Obamacare was great, but you know what, Danny? He forgot two important groups, but Dr. Bubby, he forgot the homeless and the hungry. Dr. Bubby in 2024 will have the hungry eat the homeless. And you may go, oh, that's terrible. But that's not a bad idea. Get two groups together, but I am running, God willing, as they say in French. And so I wanted to say that about Denny. He brought Obamacare up, and November care will be great, or Bubby care. And I heard the word Woodstock. When Danny asked me to speak, he says, Abby, Dr. Bubby, please give us a tight 5. And I said, cutie, I haven't been tight since 1969. And that was at Woodstock, and all I remember was the back seat of a 57 Chevy. I was on top. If you can remember Woodstock, you ain't never been there. No way, because the haze from that smell permeates all your orifices, if you get my drift. And you don't know where you are, but that was some happening, because I think I'm the senior citizen here. And that was without any work. Maybe 2024, I'll get a little plastic job or a new plastic credit card. I don't know. But anyway, I'm still here. And I want to tell you, I worked in New York. I'm living in San Diego. It took me over 70 years to get out here. I lived in Texas and I lived in Georgia. I'm sure with my accent, I was real popular there. Why? At Georgia, I was as popular as Joan Rivers at a Baptist convention. Not. And, but when I worked in a nursing home, I love working with old people. And now I'm an old person. And I remember I was giving a lecture, a workshop on eating fiber and being nutritious and being conscious of what we eat for the old people. And I'm going on spouting all these important things. And one elderly woman's probably older than my age, nudges the other one in her stage whisper, as old deaf ladies do. Who the hell is she? And the other woman says, well, that's Eleanor Roosevelt. She's been here forever. And ladies and gentlemen, it was at that point that I realized I needed a makeover. Love Eleanor Roosevelt, but I didn't want to look like her. Anyway, without the work, I am a doctor. I can't practice. Oh, well, it was a little technicality. I'm just not allowed to stitch people up because I have a habit of cutting on the wrong arm. But so I do a lot of research. And one of my books is just that I know Bruce heard about it. Maybe Danny remembers it. It is out and it's just flying off the shelves at Bones and Nipples. It's called Lube It or Lose It. Sexuality from puberty till you plots. And what Dr. Bubby recommends is a very, very significant role of lubrication. You can't get enough lubrication in the world. And I'm not talking about gay guys or women or old wrinkled hoo-has that some people my age may have, because I don't say dirty words like other sluts you may hear. Lubrication. Ellen, it's very expensive if you buy KY or Replens or Astroglide. But Dr. Bubby is telling you now, and it's in my book, please use natural products. If you're from the deep South, God save your soul, use lard. Lard is plentiful. Claudia, don't laugh, it's cheap. Put it in a baby tub and heat it up and then get all your orifices lubricated. And whatever's left over makes flaky biscuits. Now, I happen to be Jewish. You may have guessed that. And on the kosher side, I can't tell you which side that is. Chicken fat, schmaltz. And you know, Bruce, if you heat it up, it makes wonderful chicken soup and that cures everything. So I just want to leave you with that advice to be lubricated. In fact, after this book hit the press, it's been so popular. I am now on the world lubrication tour. And you can see me in your various states, and you'll never look at lard or chicken fat the same way. All I can say now is be safe, be kind, and be lubricated.
Yeah.
Hey, happy November. Thank you. Happy November. Yeah, be lubricated. Remember, wax off, wax on, or something like that, right? Yes. Oh, yeah, the new Dr. Ruth. Look like her. Right, happy November. Right, our next comedian from the Bay Area. I know him because I performed with him many times. He's a musician and a comedian, very funny guy. And he also hosts shows in Oakland. So let's give for Jason Cole. Jason Cole, everybody. Woohoo!
Oh my God, this is great. Zoom comedy on a Monday. Nice. Next stop, suicide. Oh yeah, please, no recording. Also, in broadcast near a school too. These are the stipulations in my rider. Let's keep it rock and roll. Everything's opening up again. Live music. Who loves live music?
Yeah. Woo, yeah.
I've seen hundreds of shows. I've been down there in the pit. I've been crowd surfing, but I get a little older now. I go to shows. Get a little grumpy, you know, you make your way in there after all the effort to get in there, and you see your favorite band playing the same song for 30 years, and they go into the double chorus, and then they drop out, and they're like, now you sing it. And I'm like, you know what? I just paid $300 for a ticket, $79 for a convenience fee, $50 for parking, $30 for a shirt, and $20 for a Bud Light and a bottle of water. You sing the song, Bono. Sing your song about injustice in Northern Ireland, because there's some injustice in this Ring Central Coliseum that I'd like to talk about. I just paid $500 to come to your workplace, your job for you. Tell you what, you two, come to my office tomorrow. Give me $500 and I'll put you to work. Hey, Bono, how's that spreadsheet coming along? I can't hear you. Now this side of the office. Yeah, The Edge. I'm going to need you to come in tomorrow and do inventory. Live music. I love it. Speaking of live music, Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins died. For those of you older folks, Foo Fighters, pretty big rock band on tour in Bogota, Colombia. Foo Fighters drummer died. Coroner's report said 10 drugs in the system. 10 drugs for when 9 drugs is not enough. 10 drugs, new from GlaxoSmithKline. 10 drugs. When in Bogota, do 10 drugs. Do you think after the 5th drug, Taylor would be on the phone with his dealer saying, you know, what are you cutting this with? Because it's not working. Here's my impression of Taylor Hawkins that night on the 9th drug, okay? He's on the floor. You can't see him. All right, he's in his hotel. And then someone comes to the door. Hey, man, who wants horse tranquilizers? That's just what I need is the 10th drug. We grew up in the 80s with the war on drugs, Nancy Reagan. And what was the slogan? Just say no to drugs. That's really old fashioned and unrealistic. We're going to experiment. It's like just say no to free sex or free pizza. We're going to try. But I think we can all agree, just say no to 10 drugs. 10 drugs. Just like Taylor's body said no. He's dead. All right. Now we're going to close with a rock and roll song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's a comedy song. This isn't even plugged in, but I still like talking into it. Did somebody say Freedom Rock? All right. All right. This is a song about my life in comedy. It's called Snatching Puss 24/7. Just kidding. This is a song for all the comedians because we love doing shows because we're hoarse for stage time. We'll play any show, any stage, any corner, any bar. And obviously we prefer shows where people are expecting comedy to happen. A lot of times we do shows at restaurants and bars where they don't know comedy is starting. A lot of those shows are magical. A lot of times the people are visibly angry. The song is about, it goes to all the grinders out there because these are those shows we have to do to pay our dues. It's called Hey, Did You Know? Wednesday night, drinking with your friends at your favorite neighborhood bar. When in walks a tweaker, he's carrying a speaker and sets it down right where you are. And it's worse than you thought, cause you're sitting in the spot where he wants to put the microphone. How could you have known? Hey, did you know you're at a comedy show and it's starting 5 feet away? It's gonna be way too loud, we're gonna insult the crowd, and at the end we're gonna ask you to pay. Hey, did you know you're at a comedy show and it's trapped? Nowhere to go. La, 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 la. Thursday night, you're on a hot date at your favorite hipster bar. It's going well when what the hell? The comic starts talking to her. And it's worse than you think, cause his crowd work stinks, and at the end he blames it on you. Hey, did you know you're still at a comedy show and it's gonna be 3 hours long? The drug-addicted drunks, geeks, freaks, and punks. What could possibly go wrong? Hey, did you know you're at a comedy show and now you're trapped, nowhere to go? at the bridge. Balcony. Anybody here celebrating anything? All right, go for your bar wait staff. I'll leave you with this. This verse, based on a true story. Saturday night, it's do or die for your favorite sports ball team. You're drinking in heaven, watching Game 7 as the bartender's turning off the creams. And as the TVs fade to black, the comic in the back begs you not to go, 'cause you're just in time for the amateur improv, karaoke, magic, trivia, bingo, drum sewing, circle, slam, poet, script writing, open mic, bringer, showcase, intervention. Hey, did you know that was a comedy show? And now the microphone smells like a fart. We joked about dating, growing old and vaping, and we try to pass it off as art. But hey, did you know you're at a comedy show? And now we're passing around the tip jar. We were marginally funny, and now we want your money, or I'm gonna key your car. Hey, did you know that was a comedy show? Yeah, we're gonna be here every night. Oh my God, Zoom universe. We're all gonna be famous. Thank you, Danny Detchy. Enjoy the rest of the comedians. My name is Jason Cole. Good night.
Yeah.
Hey, woo! Rock and roll, Jason Cole. Woo! That's a hit. I think you could put that on the Billboard 100 or 10, top 10. That's a hit. I like it. Woo, do, 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 do. It's a catchy song. Yeah, hope you look at that song. Rock and roll with Jason Cole. Woo. Yes. All right, our next comedian from New York, and let's see, where is she? Let's see. She's also the producer of the show. She brought all the comedians together, helped me. We all get together to start the show, and I don't see her. Where's Helene? Helene, are you there? Helene? Okay, she might have to. I guess she disappeared for a while. Okay, well, let's go on to our next comedian. We'll bring back Helene later. It's David Scott. Woo.
Hello.
And for the sprites. Woo, David.
There we go. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, my name is David. Oh, there's the dog. You're very nice, Jason. Thank you. Yeah, my name is David. I did not name my son David, but I wished I'd named him Harley so he could introduce himself as Harley, David's son. A little more about
That's a
me.
thinker.
This morning, I found a spider in my sock drawer, which was very upsetting because it belongs in the spider drawer. Instead of going to Starbucks, here's what I do. I write my name on a coffee cup, pour myself some coffee, yell my name out, and then set a $5 bill on fire. Saves the trip. I like Facebook. A lady recently posted she liked synonym buns. I said, you mean cinnamon buns? She said, no, synonym buns. They're different than cinnamon buns, but they taste exactly the same. Another friend posted she bought a weighted blanket. I posted that at my age, every blanket is a weighted blanket. See what I did there? I recovered. Another friend posted, what makes you smile? I posted facial muscles. Another lady posted she was looking for a plumber to replace her water heater. I posted it might be better to replace her water heater with another water heater. Yeah. Got an Apple Watch. First day I had it, I wore it to bed. The next morning at 7 o'clock, it buzzed and said, get up. I said, no, what? No, I'm retired. Apparently it monitors my breathing and my heart rate, so I nicknamed it Santa Claus. Well, it knows when I am sleeping. It knows when I'm awake, But if it ever figures out if I've been bad or good, I'm going to throw it in the lake. Oh, you better not, you better not. I named my phone Elvis because it dies every time I'm on the toilet. Every morning, 2 cute little ducks come visit me on my patio, and I started giving them bread. My friend Don said, "Don't do that. If you give them too much bread, they'll get sick and die." And I said, "I know. I hate ducks." Missouri's considering a law to make it legal to break a car window to rescue a pet, and I'm in favor of it. Because the last time I broke a car window to rescue a purse, I got arrested. If I only had one word to describe myself, it would be not very good at following directions. My 2 favorite kind of songs are love songs and songs that welcome me to the jungle. The other day, I ate an entire can of Pringles. Very disappointing. There were only 3 of them, and they were all tennis ball flavored. Shout out to my 4 favorite bags: punching, grab, barf, and Papa's got a brand new. Ain't no drag. You know, they say as you get old, you're supposed to get old and wise. For me, it's just the opposite. The older I get, the more questions I have. For example, what exactly is a cold-blooded killer? Someone who murders reptiles? I don't know. In nursing homes, is the code word for toilet mustard, specifically gray poupon? Apartments aren't apart, they're together. Shouldn't they be called togetherments? No. What do you call a frozen waffle on a Southern California beach? San Diego?
Oh.
What do you call the world's smallest prophylactic? Condominum? No. At the dollar store, if you ask for change, do they just give you a different dollar? I don't know. I have all these questions. The other day I was at the dollar store. I gave the clerk a $50 bill, and she pulled out a counterfeit pen, and I said, how do you know the pen isn't counterfeit? She said, what? I said, what you need is a pen to determine whether or not the counterfeit pen is counterfeit. She said, what are you talking about? I said, you need a counterfeit pen. She didn't say anything, so I kept going. I said, and then you would need a pen to determine whether or not the counterfeit pen were counterfeit. She still didn't say anything, so I kept going. I said, you would need a counterfeit pen. Finally, she looked up and said, here's your change, Sparky. Now get out. Which upset me because my name is not Sparky. Here's when, I'll close with this. As I get older, I started ending conversations with my children with "I love you," because let's face it, at this point, every conversation is potentially my last conversation. The other day, I was on the phone with my daughter. At the end of the conversation, I said, I love you. She said, I love you too. And just for fun, I said, I love you more. And she said, I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you so much, everybody. What a great crowd. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David Scott, everybody. Woo, funny one-liners, and good luck with the family issues there. Sounds good. Woo, thank you, David Scott. Yes. Now our next comedian, a very funny guy, and he's been all over, and he's a very educational. Very happy having him here tonight. Let's give it up for Bronco Brad. Woo, Bronco Brad. Woo.
Ooh, well, thank you, Jenny. What a nice host. Yes, indeed. What a fun show. Well, boys and girls, I'm so dang darn glad to be here. I was going to say proud and dang darn glad Sure. Are you ready to have a darn tootin' good time? Woo! All right. Well, this year for our special edition show is going to be the Frontier Doctor special here. So let's get started. First of all, we got to round up our wooden clackers and do our opening theme song. Now, remember, boys and girls, you can be members of the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time show as a deputy sheriff. You just got to promise two things. Always share your gluten-free crackers to all your neighbors and friends. And remember, you got to round up all that loose cabbage out in your backyard. If you can do that, well then, just grab your wooden clackers and let's clap along. Well, I get up when the morning breaks, chow down on my corny flakes, chasing cabbage across the prairie, some parts safe and others scary. My legs are never gimpy, nobody calls me wimpy, as I go riding down the trail, galloping along. Galloping along, I sing this cowboy song, snacking on non-gluten crackers, play my tune on wooden clackers, galloping along in the sunshine and the snow. Let's go and start the milieu of the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time show. Woo! Whoa! Oh, those wooden clackers are really hot, so let's just cool them down. Well, let's get started with the show. And of course, I love doing the start of our show with our science corner. And of course, can't do our science corner without my little buddy, Wally, the happy talking neutrino. Hiya, Wally. Hi, Bronco Brad. Hi, everybody. Hi, Wally. So we have doctors, lawyers, teachers, and plumbers for the show. Well, just a few of those, little buddy, but you're on the right trail. Okay. Say, Wally, for our medical show here, we want to know, to tell the boys and girls, just what the heck is an MRI? MRI, Bronco Brad? Yeah. Okay. That's when all my little magnetic friends go through your body and take a little picture on the other side so the doctor can see what's inside you. Well, that's a dang darn interesting way to explain it, little buddy. And I want to let the boys and girls know that lots of neutrinos like me go through your body thousands of times every day. Really, little buddy? That's right. But I want to let you be assured that when I go through your body, I always close my eyes so I don't see any of your private parts where your baby covers. Well, that's dang darn really gentlemanly of you. I sure do appreciate that, little buddy. Okay, well, we're going to do the rest of the show, so talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye. Well, he's a polite little neutrino, ain't he? Sure is. Well, now, let's do another medical song for tonight. Well, this one here is a made-up tale of the Old West about a blood bank way out in the West. Let me tell you all about it. Well, way out in the cold prairie, beyond the mud and snow, is a mysterious blood bank where you want to sometimes go. You just stop on by and see Roger, the blood bank king. He'll pick up his fake wooden guitar and he'll always begin to sing. Well, I'm gonna stick a little needle in your arm, then I'm gonna set you loose with a handful of sugar cookies and a big glass of orange juice. Oh, and then there'd be a gunfight and people be laying out on the street. There'd be blood all over the place. People be crawling up to Roger and say, Roger, what kind of blood can you give me? And he'd pick up his fake wooden guitar and he'd sing, well, I got O positive, O negative plasma in a chilling tank. I got the A, the B, the AB2 right here in my blood bank. Whoa, that's a tale of Roger, the blood bank cowboy. Ain't that a good song? Sure is. Okay. Well, now time, boys and girls, for our art corner. And tonight, I think I'd like to show you something really special that's really helpful. You know, we all like our internal organs, don't we? Our stomach, our kidneys, our pancreas. Sure we do. And you know what's fun is to pretend that they can fly in outer space, ain't it? Sure. So tonight, we're going to show you how to draw a flying liver spaceship. Oh, it's going to be fun. First, grab your black marker or your black crayon. And now, first of all, you got to draw a liver. So you got to draw a big fat liver like this. Oh, yeah, that's a nice looking liver, ain't it? Yes, indeed. And of course, then it's propelled. So you got to make little rockets for it. So make the little rockets there. Yes, yes, there's the little rockets there to propel it out of space. Yes, that liver's going to fly fast, ain't it? Now, it's got to be propelled. So make sure you draw a lot of hot gases blowing through there. Yes, use your red marker or red crayon. A lot of hot gases. Yes, yes. Just think of commentators on Fox News. Yes, yes. Hot gases coming out. Now you got to have someone fly that liver into outer space. So draw your little cockpit, and then we're going to draw our host in there. There's Danny. He's flying his liver into outer space. Ain't that great? Sure is. Okay. Well, that's it for the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time show. I hope you had a dang darn good time. There's still a lot of funny people coming up, so don't go away. Until next time, boys and girls. Well, we've hung up our saddles and laid down our tools. The night stars are out burning their nuclear fuels. Don't shake a lot or even a quiver. Just climb inside your flying spaceship liver. Good night, cowboys.
Woo! Woo! Bronco Brad. See, I told you it was going to be educational. Yes. Woo! Thank you, Bronco Brad. Woo! That's. Thank you. And already, our next comedian, she helped me. Is this message? Okay, sorry. She helped me put this. Both of us put the show together. Doctors, Teachers, and Rock and Roll. She's also one of the good timing performers on Peacock. You can catch it there on Peacock TV. It's still there, and it's a great show. So let's hear for Elaine Witt, everybody. Elaine Witt.
Thank you. Sorry I was late. Claudia and I went to eat with our friends, and then I went back, and I'm still there. No, I was there late, but that's where I was, and that's not that funny. So I noticed somebody has a joke just like mine. So thank you, Danny's friend who crashed my show and took my joke. So I have nothing to say anymore. But I'm partly kidding. What do they call that, Linda? Covert, overt. They have a term for it in Portland. Anyway,
passive aggressive.
Yeah. Whatever that is, that's what you are. But welcome to the show. No harm done. So I wanted to go back and tell you how I met Danny, because like Claudia doesn't know. So Claudia, I had a second husband, and I was stalking him on the Facebook one day, and I saw that he had a show with this guy, Danny Detchi. And then I did a mic that was a Zoom mic in New Jersey, and Danny came on. So I started to describe my second husband, and it turns out Danny had this show with my second husband, and I never told Danny much of the story. I never even told him he was my husband. But then sadly he passed away, and I reached out to Danny because I knew that was his best friend. And now Danny and I do shows together. So give it up for Danny and my late husband, Albert, sumo wrestler Lee. He looked like a sumo. And Danny carried on. So now that you're all crying, I just want to say I had that joke, Jason, about going to Woodstock, and Mick Jagger puts the microphone out to the audience, and he wants us to sing the whole verse of Satisfaction, and after we walked in the mud, just like yours, I can't even do my Woodstock thing. But I want to say something about Ziggy and I. Ziggy and I were born one day apart and both in Brooklyn, New York. So I just pictured us in bassinets together, next to each other. Wouldn't that be crazy? But unfortunately, he was at the wrong hospital. I was at the right hospital. One was called Brooklyn Jewish, and one was called Brooklyn Women's. But isn't that wild? I think so. And then I had a first husband, and Ziggy went to high school 1 year apart from him in the same high school. So I think we're all divinely linked, but that's not funny either. Either is the bagel I had when I went back to the bagel shop, Claudia, they were as hard as rock, but I didn't say anything because, again, I'm passive aggressive like Portland. So what am I going to talk about if I can't talk about Woodstock? I will talk a little bit about Woodstock. I was just like Ziggy. I didn't go back because I heard the freeway was closed. But my story is that I went back because that's what I tell a joke about. I lie about it. So I say I went back to Woodstock, but they had a tent at the first Woodstock. And then when I went back to the 50 years later, the Woodstock was totally different. The tent that was for bad acid trips. Ellen, let me break that down for you. Acid was a psychedelic drug we took back in those days. So the tent this time, 50 years later, was for bad acid indigestion. I heard Bob Dylan singing, blowing in the wind this time. And I didn't see him, but I heard him, and the curtain goes up because they had a curtain there in my story anyway. And I hear blowing in the wind. I see the band. I see this old lady at the organ who looked like my Aunt Esther B. Greenbaum with the gray hair, the big nose. And I'm saying, where's Bob Dylan? The song's almost over. Well, it turned out, as many of you know, Bob Dylan no longer plays the guitar because he has arthritis. He plays the organ. That wasn't my Aunt Esther B. Greenbaum. That was Bob Dylan. Take that one out of the routine. So then, Paul McCartney was singing "Maybe I'm Amazed." Maybe I'm amazed, Paul. You could still stand there for 3.5 hours. I could barely walk down the street with my arthritis, or is that whatever I have. So then I was going to talk about. I was a Beatle fanatic, and I went to England, and I stood outside Paul's house, 7 Cavendish Avenue, just in case you think I'm lying. And my British friends were Cockneys, and they stood there since Hard Day's Night. I mean, no help. They've been standing there for years and years, and they taught me a little Cockney, and I'm going to teach you what they taught me. This is what they taught me. Poe's bows are hanging on the woes. It means Paul's balls are hanging on the wall. Hanging on the wall. And my friend who taught me that is coming to Spokane or Seattle this week because Paul's playing, and she's coming to America. Just to show you, I'm telling you the truth. So I was a Beatle fanatic. I stood there, and John Lennon sang to me. If you look at my Facebook, you see he's singing to me, and people say, wow, John Lennon was singing to you. That's unbelievable. But what you don't know is what he was singing to me. It was really an insult. I said, you're going to be on David Frost TV tonight, and I can't watch it because I'm staying in a youth hostel. So I was whining to John Lennon like he could care less if Elaine Wood could watch him on David Frost tonight. So what John sang to me was, every time I hear a newborn baby cry. That's what he was really singing. But I don't tell people that, but I'm telling America right now on Danny's YouTube and Facebook. John was singing a song making fun of me, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. So in closing, I'll just talk about, I did used to. Isn't that good English, Ellen, for a teacher? I did used to. Ziggy and I have something in common. We both know somebody, me and someone Ziggy knows, used to wait outside the Ed Sullivan Theater for groups to come out. So I waited for the Animals. I waited for the Beach Boys, everyone who played Ed Sullivan. I waited for them to come out, and I used to go to their hotel rooms. So once I went to Jimi Hendrix' hotel room, and he had a whole suitcase filled with scarves. Honest to God, this is back in the day. And he was thrown out of the Waldorf. He was staying at the Wellington. All these are true. That didn't have a punchline. But what did happen was a real groupie. I was a teeny bopper with my friend Jude, but a real groupie knocked on the door. And it was like the Three Stooges were bumping into each other going, we better leave now, because a real groupie came to the door. And that is true. I just told you 3 secret stories for the Rock and Roll Show with Danny today. Thank you.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, it was muted. Hey, thank you, Elaine. Woo! Rock and rollin'. Those are some rock and rollin' stories there. And I hope you're staying warm there. It seems you're outside there, Elaine. And oh, by the way, Elaine, I'm starting tomorrow, starting the annual Funny Fest comedy competition that was started by Albert. And so I'm continuing it on, and it's it's in San Francisco. So
that's beautiful. If it makes any profit, you can send it my way. He owes me a couple of bucks. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, can hear. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry, I missed part of it. But okay. Thanks, Elaine.
Well.
And all right, our next comedian, very funny woman all the way from Chicago. For me, it's all the way because I'm in San Francisco. And, so I have been to Chicago, the airport only. That's about it. But one day I'll make it over there too. So anyway, let's hear for Ellen Wesley. Ellen Wesley. Woo.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Give it up for Danny and for all the wonderful comedians you've seen so far, you guys. Groupies hiding in real life, right? Well, a little bit about me. Let's see what I should tell you. I'm an emergency room doctor. Yes. Yes. Have you seen an emergency room doctor lately? I don't know if you want to, but it's like, blood and guts and death, Those are all things that I love so much. So, yes, the emergency room, it's just, I have ADD and it is so wonderful because if something's not bright and shiny, it's bloody and urgent. I love it. But I do like to help people. I do. And you guys, do you like surprises? Well, I don't know, but I don't like the unwanted surprises. Sometimes surprises are great. And well, I had family come in. This weekend. And you know what we did? We went, are you ready? We went to a drag show. You know why? Because that's what families do together, go to drag shows. Speaking of surprises, yes, we played Locate the Gonads. I showed them and I'm about to Google it because what they say, tucked in has a whole nother meaning at a drag show. But it was very cool. My God, these guys, they're amazing. They're so beautiful. But, in truth, I love to go to drag shows because I need fashion advice and makeup. When a lady comedian puts on a sequined outfit, you know what we look like? Or at least me anyway, I look like a Michael Jackson interpreter. And you know what? When a drag queen puts on sequins, it rocks. Oh, they are so good. So, I don't have to tuck anything, but I want to definitely learn how to pull off sequins. It's so cool. So, speaking of dressing up though, right? So, I am on the market. Yes, I am in between husbands. None of them are mine. But the whole dating thing, I'm a junior senior citizen. I am. And remember what Abby said is Dr. Abby's, the wisdom of that, man. There is never too much lube. The older you get, the more importance of the lube. Except on the dates that I go on to, Anyway, so it's so hard dating at my age, just getting ready, right, ladies? Getting ready is a thing, right? Do I take my depression medicine? Do I take my anxiety medicine? Do I wear my back brace? Lucky thing I don't have to remember condoms anymore because I have got my head full of all that stuff. But, they send me these guys, they're a little older. Okay, well, right. They send me old guys. They send me dead guys. Is that a joke from these young kids? Is that one of those unwanted surprises? They're dead. I'm an ER doctor. I know what dead looks like. And no, I don't want to roust people from the dead. If they're on their way to the other side, let them visit to the other side. It's so nice. But so, I'd have to draw the line, right? I would like it if they would be alive. I would like it if they have less than 2 chins. That would be good. 3 or more. But they send me, do I look like I want to date somebody that just went to the thing, the insurrection, those guys, they send those guys to me. And I don't think they look Jewish either, right? Not that I care, I'm getting very picky, but I want them alive. I don't want them too smelly. But the thing about dating older guys, in a way, it's good, you know, when they're dead because they're cold. And I get hot flashes. And well, and you know, the other good thing about dead guys, they're stiff when they get there. Stiff is good, ladies and gentlemen. Stiff is good. If you've got enough lube, see the cold and the stiff. Anyway, so I can tell you. So I do live in Chicago, and I am an emergency room doctor. And well, and I live with my mom, and she loves being a part of my comedy. She does. And, you know, I took her out last week. We went to the park and I took her to lunch. And well, do you guys hate rude people? I hate rude people. And well, I took mom to the gym, and you know, that rude spa attendant, he said, "You can take an urn full of ashes on the treadmill." How rude was that? How rude. And you know, when I get angry, so I took the lid off and I threw mom all over him. Now, mom would like this part. You know why? Because he got head from my dead mom. That'll teach him to make fun of her daughter, right? Mom is serious about this stuff. But I want to tell you guys, I want to give you some wisdom. I mean, those of us who are still this side of the grave, right? We're still this side of the grave. And I don't want us to worry too much about death. I don't, you know, because when it's time, it's time. Just try not to haunt anyone. But I want you to think of this, you know, a funeral. A funeral is not a sad event. No, it's an opportunity for you to find young men with mommy issues to be your sex slave. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Danny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Ellen Wesley, yeah, likes a good cold, stiff one. Yeah, once in a while. Thank you, Ellen. And thank you for the advice on funerals. So it's good. Yeah. On that. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Ellen. And now on to our next comedian. Let's see, also from the East Coast, seen him many times on Zoom, performed with him together on Zoom. Let's give it for Bruce Lipsky.
Hey there, thank you so much. It's great, thank you. This one actually, David made me think of this. You know, he's talking about, you know, pondering why things are the way they are. So this is actually for everybody, but more specifically for David. You know, how come it's easy to make a hard-boiled egg, but hard to make eggs over easy? Have you thought of that, David? I thought of that the other week, and I had to write that. But I'm really excited now. The weather's getting warmer, and you can see I have my Nike hat on. I got my golf hat on. I finally became a scratch golfer for all these years. Somebody asked me, Bruce, how'd you do it? I said it was pretty easy. You know, lots of patience, lots of practice, and plenty of poison ivy.
Yeah.
And my neighbor just took up golf. But it's kind of weird. I think he must have worked in a deli, because every time he gets on the course, he's always slicing his balls. I don't get it. You know, my wife recently has become, you know, this obsessed person with organic food. But she sent me to the produce store the other day to buy some organic vegetables. And so I never bought this before. So I asked the produce manager, how can I tell which ones are organic? He said that they're half the size and twice the price, then they're organic. I said, I think I drive one of those. It's called a Prius.
Yeah.
But I said, she wanted organic kale, but I don't even know what kale is. So I asked the produce guy, what is kale? He says, think about it. This is lettuce's cousin, its bitter cousin. I said, oh yeah, it reminds me of my cousin who's 50 years old and divorced 4 times. She must be kale because she's certainly a lot bitter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm thinking about, my wife told me we want kale because kale is a superfood. You know, superfood. You must have heard of the superfood. That's the latest thing. But you know, Abby, growing up, we didn't have superfoods. We just had food. But you know, to me, kale is like my kryptonite. You know, Superman can leap tall buildings in a single bound, but kale will clean out my colon in a single serving.
Yeah.
But you know, the superfood of 2022 is. This is true. My superfood is Chipotle. And my son always corrects me, said, Dad, it's pronounced Chipotle. I said, great, this kid got a 40 on the Spanish regions. He's telling me how to correct it. All I know is Chipotle. I really do love that pulled pork for distance. And my wife, she's a food addict. She thinks everybody in the house is a food critic. She'll spend an hour on the internet surfing for a recipe, an hour shopping, and an hour cooking. And in 30 seconds, my son will say, "You're cooking that shitty chicken again?" She got mad at me. She says, "Bruce, you think I'm running a 5-star restaurant here?" I said, "Apparently you are, because every time you cook, I have reservations." And I told you she's into this green, because everything is green and natural, organic. She just spent $4,000 on a new mattress. We've been married 30 years. We had never replaced our mattress. I'm looking like my mattress, old and lumpy. But we went to the store to buy things. We couldn't figure out what we wanted. It took hours. We walked out with nothing. All I knew was I like mine soft. She likes hers hard. I haven't heard that over the last 30 years. But she said she wound up buying for $3,000 or $4,000. I don't even know. It's called an avocado brand mattress. An avocado brand mattress. She said she's going green. She's not going green. She's spending my green. And she says it's organic and sustainable. Sustainable. My wallet isn't sustainable, that's for sure. But organic. Who wants organic in the bedroom? I want orgasmic. And this thing, after a few weeks, started to smell, and it got lumpy. It smelled rotten. No, the mattress, not my wife. Okay, all right. Let me get these things straight. I told my wife, this it's lumpy. I feel like I'm sleeping on a bed of guacamole. What am I, a fajita? She said I better cancel the sour cream pillows. But she also got one of these beds with these adjustable beds, those Craftmatic beds. Don't piss your wife off when you have one of those things. We had an argument. Our Tempur-Pedic turned into her Temper-Pedic. I tell you. She got so mad. She folded the bed up like this into the shape of a giant taco. I said, I can't get into the bed tonight. I guess I wasn't going to ring her Taco Bell that night. It's hard when, we've had these arguments lately. She said to me, Bruce, lately I've been talking to you. You don't seem to be paying attention to me lately. She said, what, do you have loss of hearing? I said, no, I got loss of listening.
Yeah.
And before I dated my wife, I had lots of dates. Now, nothing but prunes.
Yeah.
He said, Bruce, are you comparing me to a prune? I said, no, you got a lot less wrinkles. We just celebrated our 30th anniversary, wedding anniversary. 30 years of wedded bliss. 30 years of wedded bliss. It's amazing. No. Wedded blisters, because all these years you rubbed me the wrong way, and I got the calluses to prove it.
Yeah.
It's easy. I think it's easy being me, She's a fitness nut. She's into goat yoga now. Goat yoga. You know what goat yoga is? This is when you're in the studio, you're lying on a mat, and these hairy, horny creatures are roaming around. And goats, too.
Yeah.
I know she's on her back, and she says she loves it when the goat jumps on her back and licks her ears. I said, wait a second. How come when I tried that last week, you slapped me and threw me out of the bedroom? And now you'll pay a goat to do it? She said, well, he has fresher breath. I asked her one final question. I said, they allow kids in the class? She says, no, they only use old goats. Thank you. My name is Bruce Lipsky. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Yeah, woo! Bruce Lipsky from Bruce Lipsky, everybody. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you. Woo! Yes. All right. Our next meeting, she's a very funny woman, very busy. She's always doing a lot of Zoom shows and performing all over the country. Let's hear for Linda Marcus Smith. Woo!
Hey, everybody. So nice to be here. Great show. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Danny and Helene, for this. Give it up for yourselves. You're all so funny.
Yeah.
Really. Oh my gosh. So you're probably saying, well, is she a doctor? Heck no. I once saw a sign at the VA hospital in the psych department. Shocker. Saw a sign there that said dual diagnosis. And I was like, this doctor, is he into fencing? Because I was like on guard. And that's how you start with a pun. I went to a college for teachers in Oregon, and it was called Oregon Normal. I stuck out like a sore thumb. It's the only normal thing I ever did is go there. I didn't last very long either. First fight with a boyfriend, I was out of there. Yeah, but I did try to become a teacher. And then later I went into banking and they said, oh, you're so good with all the customers. Why don't you teach tellers and new accounts and loans? So my salary doubled and I started teaching people about, how to work in the branch. And so this one day I was teaching about robbery awareness. And then right smack dab in the middle of this stuff I was telling about, keep your eye out for them. We were on the 4th floor in downtown Seattle, and this window washer is scaling down the building while I'm talking about robbery awareness. I'm like, whoa, see, it could happen anywhere, you guys. And the class got all nervous, like, it's not a robber, it's a window washer. Gets better laughs in the cemetery, actually. But I get it. You guys are very discerning. It's new material. Okay, so I'm Linda Marcus Smith, and I have a twin brother. Holy Toledo, there's 2 of us. His name is Fred. He really exists, not just in my mind. He's an actual thing. And this last birthday, we had a birthday, and he turned whatever it was, and not me. I like to be independent. I turned 21. Not doing your thing, Fred. So I don't like that twin thing. I've turned 21 3 times plus none of your business. Almost up to Abby. Abby, slow down so I can catch up. Yeah. My brother, people always ask, are you identical? It's a boy. That's what the cigar said. Like 71 years ago, we got a cigar. My dad passed out blue and pink. My brother got my dad's strapping blue eyes. So we can't be identical. I got my mother's strap on. And her testosterone. And if you knew her, you would laugh even harder. She had more testosterone than my dad. Yeah. So I originally come from Portland, Oregon. And that should be a punchline, but it's not. When I get really good at comedy, it's going to be the punchline. But yeah, they have this crazy thing there, a coffee barista. You guys ever heard of this? Oh my gosh. Portland coffee baristas are the worst. I almost had to fist one of them. Come fist to blows with one of them. I'm a fun date. I get those confused. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I almost decked him because he said I look like Marilyn. See Marilyn? See me? What are you making fun of me? There's a big difference. If you age progressed her picture today, I look way hotter. But yeah, I told him, I said, well, wait a minute. She's beautiful. Thank you. And he said, no, it's Portland. It's raining. Marilyn Manson.
Oh.
But at this age, anything that is not Charles Manson, it's a compliment. I'll take it. And besides, Abby, I know you feel bad for me, but I don't take my looks seriously. I don't think that I look at all like Marilyn at any age. I think I look like if Marilyn had had a sister. Pretend you never heard this before, Helene. I think I look like if Marilyn had had a sister and the sister had to pop out of a cake and blank Ted Kennedy. That's who I look like. No, I'll go tell it at the cemetery. I think I'll leave it right there, you guys. You've been awesome. I'm Linda Marcus Smith.
Woo, thank you. Linda Marcus Smith, everybody. Yep, for Linda Marcus Smith. Woo. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And our closing out the show. Oh, excuse me, 1 second.
Toughen me up, Wyatt.
Back, sorry. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's one of the foibles of doing Zoom at home or the office or whatever. All right, so all right. So closing out the show, our next comedian, she's a nurse humorist, and you know, because comedy saves lives, because laughter is the best medicine. So let's give it for Georgia Metz. Georgia Metz, everybody.
Yay.
Hi everyone. How are you? So I'm a nurse, like I said before last time. I'm still a nurse, although I'm not working currently. That's okay. They don't need me to work anymore, but I do like to help with the profession. For instance, I like to make user-friendly terms for patients. So DNR, the doctors on the show what DNR means, do not resuscitate. I think people get scared, so I changed it to do not resist. And then there's DNI, which is do not intubate. When I changed that to do not instigate. So if we could just follow that, there would be more peaceful deaths and less struggling to stay alive when things don't look so well. And so as I worked in the hospital, I worked on many units. I remember I worked on an orthopedist floor where I was the nurse humorist. But I was told to leave because my jokes were fracturing the patients with osteoarthritis. Oh, well. And I was sent to endoscopy, where I learned that I was working with a lot of assholes, and half of them were my coworkers. And then I'd rather work in an intensive care unit. At least if I effed up, the patient was in a coma and he didn't know what happened. It was okay. You know, I could tell any joke I wanted, but they never laughed. So my timing was always a mess. But I did have fun chatting with the patients. They enjoyed it. One time, the family members were laughing so hard, the intensivist comes walking across the hall. Georgia, what do you think this is, a comedy club? I said, no, you're not serving alcohol. Get the hell out of here, leave. So the family member says to me, you trust that guy? I said, sure, I trust him. I can't read his handwriting, so he's trustable. Believe me. If the doctor's handwriting is scratchy, it's because he has so many patients. But if he has lovely cursive, he has no patience. Run like hell. Run like hell from that. So I have dated many doctors, anesthesiologists, but we had to break up because I told him when we were together, I didn't feel a thing. I mean, I dated a urologist, but he was always making me pee my pants, and it was always so messy. I couldn't take it. I dated a chiropractor, but he always had me bending over backwards for him. He wasn't really worth it. I dated a psychiatrist. He was my favorite. He really was. He was really awesome. And I found out later on that he was a sex addiction. I must see a neurologist. I can't talk. He was a sex addiction specialist. He was really very kinky, and the leather couch in his office took quite a beating, if you get my drift. And, we had to break up because the rumor in the hospital was, oh, did you hear about Georgia? She's finally seeing a psychiatrist. It took so effing long, but you know what? Maybe she'll get the help she needs. No, I'm not his patient. I'm his girlfriend. Yeah, sure, Georgia. We had to break up. It wasn't going to get a promotion that year if they thought I was being a psychiatrist. Because you know how EAP is, right? EAP is supposed to be Employee Assistance Program, but in the ICU, it was eat another pizza. Yeah, that's what they did for us. Instead of giving us nurses, they gave us pizza. I said, all right, get me a pizza. You have to spoon feed it to me because I'm working with 3 vented patients. Don't get me going. I had to take my jacket off. It has this symbol. I don't want to show you, but it has this symbol of the hospital I worked in. They gave us plenty of clothes and plenty of food, but they didn't have enough money for another nurse. Go figure. Bullshit on us. Anyway, so I was listening to the guy before talking about thinking of things. So now I'm retired. I think of things and how sayings came about. For instance, what about this calling a woman a cougar? Now, where did that come from? Why is that? It's because I hate to say pussy, but you know, what are you going to say? Kitty cat? Come on. If I'm going to have a kitty cat, I'm still a virgin. All right. So we are cougars because we're wild, or is it because we're smart? I mean, if you're a cougar, you're dating somebody younger than yourself. But being I'm a nurse, I already know that anybody over 55, they got problems. But if you date somebody under 50, you're in shape. So let's say I'm 50 years old. I'm going to date a 50-year-old. 50 goes into 50 once. No big deal. 25 goes into 50 twice. So that's why I'm a cougar. I'm telling you. I forgot to mention. Now, I go shopping. I like to park in the front in that special parking space, that blue one. But I can't because I don't have a handicap sticker. So I said, where can I get a handicap sticker from? You have to get it from the doctor. So I asked one of the doctors at the hospital, can I get a handicap sticker? No, you don't have a handicap. Damn it. So I went on a date site called doctorswithoutmorals.com. Now, I love it. The doctor says he'll meet me on a date. Oh, fine, no problem. So I get dressed. I got the skin tight pants on. I got the Wonder Bra. Yeah, I wonder where I got that cleavage from. It wasn't there before. Yeah. So I put the white strips on. I got to put the fake lashes on. I got to do the hair up. I got the nail polish on. I'm all ready. Oh, yeah, don't forget the Spanx. If you wear Spanx before, you might get a few Spanx after. Haha. Anyway, so I meet the doctor. He looks at me from head to toe and from toe to head. And then he grins and says, my, you have a camel toe. I said, oh, great. Can I get a handicap sticker for that? Those of you who don't know what a camel toe is, please look it up. I mean, after all, that's the whole joke. Anyway. But I have to say something about nursing. There's a certain superpower that we have, honestly. I mean, I can go up to a strange guy, he's in the waiting room. I say, sir, come here, come in the room, shut the door, take your clothes off. He's waiting for me to take my clothes off. Not this time, honey. No, you take your clothes off. Here, put this examination gown on. The doctor will be in shortly to see you. What other profession can you do that besides prostitute? All right, prostitution. All right, fine. Prostitutes take money. I take other things, but we're not going to talk about it. Okay, thank you, everybody. It's been fun.
Thank you, Georgia Metz, everybody. Give it for Georgia. Woo. You're going to need a cold shower after that one. So thank you. Come on, big hand to all the comedians who performed to you tonight. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, wonderful comedians, for coming out and doing the doctors, teachers, and rock and roll comedy show. And we're going to try and do this once a month. And yeah, so thanks everybody. And we're here. You can find this show always on my YouTube Live or YouTube page or Facebook Live, my timeline. And cool. So, all right, ready? Let's see. Let's show all the comedians there. Here we are.